Firstly, Mr. Gebadri is right. It is an urgent time. The climate emergency has not disappeared, and we need to stick to our goals. If we want to strengthen our competitive, we also need to accelerate our energy transition, because it is only with energy transition that we're going to be able, in the long term, to actually reduce the price of energy and to create a more competitive framework for our companies. But we have to be certain that bureaucracy is not going to save the earth. Bureaucracy alone only adds difficulties, barriers, and for our citizens and for our companies. However, we need to strengthen the virtuous circle of the green economy, because we need to strengthen research, skills, investment, quality jobs, and our competitiveness. If we want to strengthen and develop our energy sovereignty, we need to intensify, and if we want to intensify the mix of renewables, then we need to reduce the amount of administrative barriers that stand in the way of wind parks and solar panels. Let's be clear. We need to combat deforestation. We need to combat modern slavery. We need to combat child labor. It is easier to multiply free trade agreements than it is to remove the burden that suffocates our SMEs. Politics isn't just discussions between politicians, it is also a discussion with citizens, with companies. And we have to listen to them. If we want to stick to our Green Pact, then we need to remove the pointless bureaucracy within it. That's what we need to do if we want to actually be able to achieve our objectives, which is to reduce by 55% carbon emissions by 2030 and to ensure carbon neutrality by 2050. The European Council stands firmly for this. We need to reduce bureaucracy and simplify our rules. Since the very start, the EU has been a peace project, but peace without defence is just an illusion. We need to strengthen our defence, and everybody agrees on that now. There's no longer any doubt. We know that we need to strengthen the European pillar. And if we're going to strengthen that European pillar, then and distance ourselves from the US, there's no contradiction within that. I think today the best way to defend our transatlantic relationship is to invest more in our own defence. And investing more in our own defence doesn't just mean putting in more money, it means investing smarter, together, in our own capacity. And I think it's wrong to say that we have to choose between investing in defence or investing in developing our social model. I think if we want to mobilise our society to defend us collectively, then we need to defend our social model. And it's for that reason that it's incredibly important that the Commission has already presented proposals for a smarter way to manage the Stability Pact, having additional resources with the SAFE programme. But obviously this debate isn't over. We need to still look at the white paper. There are new decisions which need to be made in June and July, in the months to come, to ensure that we can effectively invest together. Investing in defense doesn't just mean investing in big companies. Investing in defense means putting in a major contribution to reindustrializing Europe, improving the value chain. Here, investing in SMEs and not just big companies, and I think this is incredibly important. Cohesion is an incredibly important objective, but beyond the cohesion policy alone, we need to ensure that cohesion runs through all policies, including the industrial policy. We've seen this in the automotive industry. We know that the brands, the manufacturers are French, German, or Spanish or Italian, but the manufacturing itself, the process, isn't national. That is something which is really European. There isn't one car on the road in Europe that wasn't produced in lots of different European countries, which has got parts from lots of different European countries. And so we have to do what we have done in the past. We have to integrate, we have to take action, we have to help SMEs throughout the value chain. We have to get better, higher quality jobs and continue to invest. You're right that in order to address the deep causes of immigration, we need to look at external action. It's not just about returning people who came to Europe illegally. It's also about what we do to help people who are forced to leave their families, leave their homes, leave their countries, who are looking for new opportunities in life. And in order to help these people, we need to work on peace, on human rights, on sustainable development. And not just in terms of humanitarian aid, but also through free trade agreements, ensuring that we have got fair trade between parties. And that is a very strong way that we can ensure development and that we can contribute to the development of countries of origin. With greater development in these countries, we're going to end up with less migration. And that is the way that we should view the world. And that's why you're right when you say that we need to invest a lot in the reform of multilateral systems. We need to reform our international financial institutions. We need to provide effective help to ensure that we have got sustainable development for everyone, and that is the way that we're going to be able to manage migration. But the best way to counter illegal immigration is still to look at the illegal immigration channels. We can have discussions, but we're not going to be able to resolve the problem in that way. We don't need words, we don't need great speeches, what we need is action.
Monsieur President Costa, so the debate is closed and we'll go straight to the next one.